Hold on. Hello, everyone. This is Pharmacist Michael, and I have my good friend Kim here with me today. And we're going to talk about some health issues that she has. We're going to talk about Sunshine Nutraceuticals, and we're going to talk about whatever it is that she wants to talk about.
Yay, I'm so excited.
Welcome in, Kim.
Thank you, Michael. So I'm going to show you all the vitamins I take. And I'm going to show you a suitcase of pills that I lug around when I have to leave the house. And I can tell you what they are if you wish to know. But
holy moly.
You see, plus I have 2 insulin shots. Plus I don't think I have my Jardiance in there either. But, so this is it. Now you know why I was so excited when my girlfriend pulled you up on her laptop and I saw the rest of your vitamins. I thought, man, I'm behind.
I have a lot of stuff.
Yes, you do. I'm going to show you the stuff I love. I love all
Okay.
of it. But what got me interested in you in the first place was you had, where'd my blood sugar pill go? Uh-oh. Oh, here it is, which I need to order. This is the
blood sugar ultra.
Yes, this is what I take. And when my other insulin pens don't work, I come to this one, and this always works. So if you guys don't like sticking yourselves, come here. But make sure you ask your doctors first. And don't leave out your other insulin either, but check it with your doctors first. But I asked him one time, I said, Michael, what do you put in here? Because it's a miracle for me. This is one of my go-tos. So that brought me to Michael. And then also, this one is beautiful too. Hair and skin and nail. Am I turning it around right? Yeah, there we go. Because my hair at one time would not grow at all. And my hair, I wish I had a hair, when my hair was short, it was probably about down to my shoulders, and it would not grow. Then when I started ordering all of Michael's vitamins, now you can look at how long my hair's gotten and how thick. And I'll tell you something, people with lupus lose hair. So this is one thing I'd really like you to go to my lupus group with and say, hey guys, you don't have to lose your hair. Just do what she does.
Okay.
Because it's horrible. They go bald and they freak out, because that's one thing, kind of like cancer patients, we do lose hair. But I've always had a thick head of hair. God's always told me he likes me to be bold like a lion, so now he likes me to look like one. I can't hair because your vitamins help keep growing it, which I love. So the next favorite thing I love are your multivitamins. These I take every day, usually first thing in the morning. And I'll tell you what, since I've been taking all his vitamins, I don't get sick. I don't catch colds. And everybody's like, but you got lupus. I said, so I also take vitamins. How about that?
Yeah, I take those every day too.
Yeah, I love and I probably got half a bottle left. The next one I like, and I'm going to make fun of this, ashwagandha.
Ashwagandha.
Yes, that one. I'll probably order this again soon. Love it. What does this do, actually?
It's an adaptogen. So it helps your body adapt to changes. They've been using that in China for thousands of years. It's a very good all-around herb. It's good for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Gives you energy.
Yes, I love this one. It's one of my faves. I also take K2D. So what does this do? I know it's for the bones.
That's basically vitamin D. So that makes sure that your vitamin D level is adequate. The K just makes sure the vitamin D goes to the right place. And it also mobilizes calcium, so it doesn't go into your vessels, but it goes into your bones.
Nice, because I just thought that meant K for kid or Kim.
No, it's vitamin K.
Oh, come on, Michael, now. Here. The next one is CMOS. Tell me about
Sea moss is good for energy. Has a lot of vitamins in it too. It helps you feel better, I guess is the best way to explain it. Very high in nutrients.
Okay. I'm not done yet. Ah, okay, this one.
Beetroot powder. So beetroot has a lot of antioxidants in it. It
Good.
also makes your vessels just a little bit bigger, so your blood pressure will drop some. Helps with circulation.
Okay. Now, this was the one I was asking you about because it's a beetroot. It's not like eating a chocolate cake, is it?
No,
Sugar?
absolutely not.
Okay.
No,
That's
no, no, no.
about.
Nope.
Now, my other absolute favorite one for all you guys with autoimmune disease like arthritis and lupus and maybe MS, I love, love, love. I love all those vitamins, but this one I take, and I usually will take it sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. Sometimes I take 2 of them, just depending on how much pain my body has.
Yes, that one is going to be the best thing for somebody with lupus. It's also good for arthritis. It ultra joint flex. It has turmeric in it, but it also has MSM, chondroitin, and all of the things that help with inflammation and basically your joints. So it's pretty close to something like osteobioflex is what it is. So that's what it's for. I mean, it really is. It doesn't have as much turmeric as the turmeric the turmeric ginger does, but it has a lot of other things that one doesn't. So if you have problems with your joints, that's the one to take.
Okay. And now the one you just mentioned, turmeric with the pepper.
Turmeric. Yep. That is my favorite. That is the number one seller by far. Turmeric is good for inflammation. It's good for pain, both musculoskeletal pain and nerve pain. It's good for your mood. It's very high in antioxidants, so it helps your cells repair themselves when they have damage from free radicals. It's, I would say, in my opinion, probably one of the best herbs that you can take. It's really a spice is what it is, but I cook with it and I also take that every single day. It really does help with my arthritis.
Do you put it in your coffee?
Nope.
No.
No, I just take it just like that.
Okay. Now I felt like I had a lot more, but I probably run out of some that I need to order. But like I have 2 of these, and I love the hair and nail. What is actually in the hair and nail?
A lot of different vitamins that are specifically designed to help your hair and nails grow.
Because as you all can see, Kimmy has a lot of hair, and
there's even iron in that one. That's one of the only ones that have iron in it too. So
yeah, so if you have lupus or any other type of autoimmune disease, this works wonderful. I mean, I take one of these a day, and it sometimes is almost like 3 days later, my nails. It's like I have to run to the spa to trim my nails. So I'm like, man, I don't know what you do to your vitamins, Michael, but that's so wonderful. So again, if you have an autoimmune disease, your best thing is to take lots of vitamins like I do. Sad to say, there is no cure that I know of yet for lupus. And the first time I went to the doctor said, well, prepare to die.
Really? And how long ago was that?
Oh, gosh, that was probably when I was in my 30s. They didn't know a thing about lupus.
Right. So they basically gave you a death sentence. You're still here years and years, decades later. And you're a fighter. I know some people do die from lupus sooner than others, but I think a lot of it is how well you take care of your body, how bad you have it, if you have other diseases on top of it. But I wish doctors wouldn't tell you things like that.
Me too, because that's exactly when God stepped in and he said to me, well, I guess you need somebody to talk to, don't you? And I was by myself in the doctor's office, right? So Mark was at work. I didn't bring anybody else with me because I thought, you know what, I'm tough. I'll take whatever it is he'll tell me. So I start doing this number. Mark, no answer. God, is that you? So he said, yeah, you need to have somebody to talk to. So that's when I went to the Lupus learning place in Windy Hill in Marietta. And she told me, she said, oh, you don't have anybody to do lupus in your area? And I said, no, ma'am. Well, she said, come here. We'll feed you a good lunch, and then we'll find you a place to have a group. Well, that lasted for a while. It's really hard when people have autoimmune or lupus diseases, how they feel. A lot of mine has to do with weather, and it doesn't matter whether it's hot or whether it's cold. Okay. The other thing, I have many other diseases thanks to my family bloodline. We have diabetes in the family. We also have cancer in the family. My aunt said somebody in my mother's side of the family had lupus because she said nobody on my father's side had it. And so therefore I said, well, I looked at that doctor. I says, you prepare to die. I said, I got to live. I got things to do.
Good for you.
And when stuff happens to us, especially with autoimmune or MS or other diseases like this, sometimes you're going to feel like somebody is pushing your head underwater. Because what happened to me when I was younger, I had fibromyalgia, and then I had Hashimoto's. Well, I didn't know what those were, so I started to go to this doctor. This doctor never heard of lupus. He didn't believe us because all of us are different. We can have more than one lupus side effect. Mine happens to be the skin, SLE. And today I look good because I took all my vitamins today. And if y'all can see, I don't know if you can see, but my face isn't red or blotchy, and which is a good thing. And I'm able to walk a little bit better now because it's summertime and it's not cold, because I really suffer when it gets to be in the negatives here, which isn't very often, but sometimes it does happen. So then, let's see, those were the first two. Then I had a seizure and a stroke, one right on top of the other. Only one, thank you God. Then I had 2 heart attacks with stents.
Ugh.
Then I had 3 cancers. Guys, look at me. I look like I should be hung up with poles in the hospital, but I can walk. And the thing about lupus is people say, that's the cruel thing about lupus. I have people all the time criticize me because I have to sit in a cart to go to the grocery store because I can't walk that whole grocery store.
Right.
And I had a lady one time tell me, well, I wish people that didn't need those wouldn't use them. And I heard her, and she knew I heard her. So I parked my little thing and I plugged it back up, and I got out of my little cart and I went over to her and I said, ma'am, look at me. She didn't want to look. She was doing this number. I said, look at me. You don't know what I've been through. You're judging me because of what you see on the outside, because I do take good care of myself when I don't have any lupus flares or anything else from diabetes. I said, but let me tell you what I've been through. Well, everything I just told y'all is what I've been through. And I said, so please be kind to people because you don't know them.
That's right.
And I said, have a good day. And I kind of left the store like I told her. But I mean, it is difficult. When I first started with all these flares, we didn't know what it was. Doctors didn't know, so I cried a lot. And then I had to go get in the shower because that was really my only relief. And I have neuropathy as well. I forgot about that one. But it's under control because I do take the gabapentin plus all your vitamins. And it's very painful. And when finally, we had to go to our state capital here in Georgia as a group, as a whole lupus group. Finally, God said to me, well, why don't you tell them to write out their stories with their pictures before you go? And that way they'll be able to look back at your stories, because they got so many people to listen to. They can't remember everybody that comes into that capital. But come to find out, a lot of the Congress people, they have lupus too, and they would
Right.
support us wearing the color purple, but I am wearing pink. But they were really good, and I got to know my senator that way, and he actually got to know me, and I didn't have to wear a purple shirt with lupus on it for him to know who I was, because he lived right here, and now he's retired, and I miss him, but he let me take a picture with him, and that was real cool. And I sometimes have to ask for help in my church, my family of church members. They're really good to see that when I struggle, they try to help. But I'm like, guys, let me do it first. If I need the help, I'll ask. My husband and I were a whole different ball game. My husband, at the beginning, I couldn't keep a job. Not that I was too lazy, but I had a lot of things happening to me where I couldn't stand and I couldn't sit all the time. And because some of my medicines, I might have had to run to the bathroom or might have knocked me out by 3 o'clock. A lot of my medicines do make me dizzy and tired. So usually 3 o'clock is my nap time if I get to take it. And also on the flip side of that, Michael, I also get insomnia. I can be up for a whole week and
Oh,
not.
wow.
And that's when I start taking my sleeping pills, which I have to be very careful with because I don't want to overdose on them. And so that's what will knock me out if I finally get to go to sleep. But I am writing a book called Surviving Life 365 Autoimmune. So I'm trying to get that finished and hopefully get it published. I think I finally found a publisher, Michael. And
Good.
Michael, did he want to share his story with me about his vitamins, since his vitamins are on my website, which is Kim's Lupus Support Group. It's got a picture of a purple butterfly with little circles and big circles, and they're blue. And there are a lot of lupus support groups. So look for the one that says Kim's, Kims.
And that's
So,
Facebook, right?
yes, Facebook. And I
Okay.
have over 1,000 followers on that one. And I started out saying, God, let me just make 300, because I wasn't sure anybody would come on. But I went to TikTok, I know, and I talked about having lupus on TikTok, which opened up the door for everybody else to be able to come on and say, I have this and I have that. So I was very excited to see that. And a lot of people, they just don't understand, like my husband, he would say, you got to get a job, you got to go to work. And I said, I'm telling you, when I don't feel good and I take this medicine, I'm in trouble. I can't do a physical job. I can if I'm at my own time. I can sit and I can stand if I'm not having a boss stand over me and saying, you're not working, what are you doing?
Right.
But so that's why I'm writing a book.
But you did. So you had lupus. He wanted you to go to work. You still survived without doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there are people who can't work for reasons like lupus. What made you want to start the lupus group? Why did you do that?
Well, because we didn't have one in our area. And usually if people come up to me and they start a conversation, I find out one or two things. It's either a godly divine appointment or it's a health, because they can tell I've got lupus. Like I can go walking through the stores and I can go up to somebody and say, I'm sorry, I just want to ask, do you have rosacea or do you have lupus? 9 times out of one of it, because rosacea is red and blotchy as well. Now, thank goodness that my daughter hasn't had it yet. And she's 30 years old, but she did get the thyroid. And here's the thing, I can always tell when people have had thyroid, removed. Well, the doctor was only going to remove half of it. Okay. He said, Miss Pierre, we've already done the x-rays and you don't have cancer. And I said to him, I said, well, x-rays only stop at the bone. They can't go past the bone. Then God stepped in again, or the Holy Spirit actually. And he said to me, remove it, remove it, remove it. So I told that doctor, being bold and brave again, I need you to remove all of it or I'm going to have to sue you. Now, he could not do surgery, but that's how strong I heard the Spirit. And I said, please remove all of it. And he said, all right, Miss Pierre, I'll remove it. Well, a couple of weeks later, he called me himself. He didn't get the secretary or a nurse. He called me himself. He said to me, Miss Piero, I don't know who told you to remove it, but they were spot on because you have cancer hidden behind the bone. And cancer is
Wow.
in the family bloodline. So, guys, when you go to your doctors and you fill out that form, be honest with them. The reason they're asking for your aunt, your uncle, your father, they want to know what's in the family bloodline.
Yep.
It's just to annoy you to fill out the paperwork like I used to think.
Right. So I think you're one of the best people to ask this question to. What would you tell somebody who just got diagnosed with lupus? What types of things, what advice would you have for them that would help them? Maybe things that you wish you would have known at the very beginning.
Well, that's a great question, Michael. I'm glad you asked. What I would tell people is, first of all, people will say hurtful things to you, maybe even your family. Just kind of ignore it because they don't understand lupus. They think that we're lazy. I was always slow. I'm still slow because of the arthritis and the lupus and attacking my. First of all, lupus attacks your muscles and your tissues. So that's why it got my heart and that's why it got everything else involving those two things. Okay. And if you're having a hard time with your job, it's okay. Listen, you need to learn to say, no, I can't do this, especially if you're raising children. And mine didn't hit until about my daughter was already grown up. And then after she got married is when I really started having bad flares. It's okay to have a bad day. Take care of yourself. Drink lots of water. Get off the fried foods. Follow Michael's cooking recipes. He's a healthy eater. Learn to eat healthy. Stay off the sugars. The sugars are going to, with diabetes, my diabetes are out of control right now. So I'm trying to figure out how to get them back low. And I take that one pen, and it's a fast acting pen. But if I take too much of it, it drops me down to low blood sugar, like it was going under 70. And then what happens to me is my body feels like I'm in a shower and I'm getting all wet and everything. And I'm like, I'm not in the shower. Where's all this water coming from? Now, my husband, if it feels like I'm having a heart attack or something, my husband will rub my arm every once in a while. If he says it's clammy or a little bit wet, he'll say, are you having a heart attack on me? And I'm like, no, because I would try and lie to him because I wouldn't want to go to the doctor. Well, one time I had this dog and she was in her crate because we had people over that were going to watch the dogs. Well, she was scratching her crate and she knew I was in trouble. So she must have had some kind of training in her younger life, but she knew it. Dogs and animals pay attention. They also see spirits, so pay attention to that. But we're talking about health. But
Yes.
she knew it. Now my dog Duke, he'll come over and sniff at me, and I'm like, okay, you're still living. I'll go back to bed now. But Molly, she had to get out of that crate, so we let her out, and she told on me, Michael. She tattled on. She came over with her body, and she went just like that to me, and I'm like, shoo, shoo. And Mark's trying to talk to these people who are going to come watch him, right? And he looks over at me, and I said, just ignore her. She's being weird. Well, anyway, I tried to go to bed that night, and I had pain in the heart. And every time I tried to lay down, it would get worse. So God said to me, well, you can try to go to sleep, and you'll end up in Florida in a hospital that you don't know the doctors, or you can go ahead and tell your husband where you may be able to have a fighting chance to get to a hospital. And I said, okay. So I had to go wake him up. It was like 2 or 3 in the morning when God usually likes to talk to us, right? Because I fought him half the night. And I said, no, because I'm kind of stubborn that way. And so I told him, I said, okay, we need to go to the hospital. He says, about time you told me. She said, I know Molly was telling on you. I just think he's kind of slow to figure this out. But husbands with wives that have lupus, you guys are awesome not to divorce your wives. They're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. If they ask for help, don't snarl at them or see what you can do. Maybe take more of the kids. Understand if they come and tell you, I can't go, don't get mad at them. A lot of times I have to do that with Mark. I have to say, honey, I don't feel good enough to go. Yeah, he may throw a little fit, but he knows. And when I sleep, he won't poke the bear. That means he won't wake me up to go to bed. He says, I'm going to let you sleep wherever you sleep because he knows sleeping is difficult for me at times.
Yep.
But so just please ask for help. If you have a support group in your area, please go. You can't do this disease by yourself. It's very hard and it hurts. It's painful. And you go through all kinds of stuff. Like I just told Michael everything I went through. And last year I had slipped and fell in the bathroom. And I was trying to grab a hold of something in the bathroom. Well, I couldn't grab a hold of anything. Well, once again, here comes God. Go God. And he picked me up from falling and hit my face in the tub because that's where I was headed. He flipped me over and put my bottom on the floor really, really hard. I thought I had broken the floor.
Oh, wow.
But uh, also I kind of felt like I knew I'd broken something. So I tried to stand up and I couldn't. So then I yelled for Mark and he came in and he saw me on the floor and he goes, well, honey, can't you get up? And I looked at him and I said, what a marvelous idea, sweetheart. I wish I would have thought of that. I love sitting on the floor, no problem. But I said, no, honey, I can't get up. I think I've broken something. So he rushed, and I have 2 flights of stairs to go up and down.
Oh, boy.
Had to call the ambulance. And there was a lot of them because they know I'd slipped and fell in the bathroom. And they said, can you get up at all? And I said, no, I can't. And they said, well, we hate to tell you this, but you're going to have to get on this blanket so we can get you down the stairs here and down your other set of stairs. Oh, boy, I screamed bloody murder. It hurt like you wouldn't believe. Then I got to the hospital, and finally the doctor came, and they gave me some shots, and they took my x-rays, and I had one nice nurse and one mean nurse. And I told my husband, I said, get rid of the mean nurse before I get up out of this bed and give her one of these. She was mean and rotten. The other one was nice. Get rid of her, honey. But the doctor came and said, yes, ma'am, you fractured 2 of your spine, one in my neck and then one's in my low back. Well, because I kept my body healthy throughout my life and I didn't do drugs, I didn't do alcohol, and I didn't smoke, my body was able, and I guess I was good enough somewhere that God said, okay, devil, do what you're going to do to her, but don't kill her like you did to Job. And in case you're wondering why I'm going back and forth, because I couldn't have done this without God. And I'm in Cherish Bible College, as you know, because you always tell me, and you study all the time. Well, yeah, I do.
I think that's great.
I have to believe in God because if I didn't, Michael, I think suicide would have been my next answer because I got tired of pain. I'm old. I've had pain for 57 years now, almost 58. And I said, God, when's enough going to be enough? Well, look at Jesus. He had 39 stripes,
Well, I hear that a lot. A lot of people are, because of pain, on the edge of making that decision themselves. In fact, we've talked to people on here that did try to commit suicide. And, I don't know if you saw Becky's story, but I believe that was God that had her husband just happen to listen to a radio program that was talking about ketamine. That kind of stuff doesn't happen on accident, I don't think.
It sure doesn't.
Now she's happy, she's not perfect, but they thought she had MS. Now we're not even sure if that's what she has. It could be the compartmentalized pain syndrome. But yeah, there's, and another thing that drives people crazy is they'll take all these narcotic pain relievers, and those drugs have a lot of side effects.
Yeah, when the doctor said, I'm going to give you some, because he wouldn't do the cement surgery because he had looked at my health and he said, I'm not touching you with a 10-foot pole. I went chicken. He wouldn't even give him a but God story, He said, I'm not touching you, but I'll help you out with some good drugs. I said, I don't want drugs, I'm drug free. But yeah. I took them for the 2, and it was the Oxycontin, and I knew about Oxycontin. I wasn't going to get hooked on it. So I told Mark, I said, after the first week and a half, let's see if we can wean me off and let me see if I can just do Tylenol. Well, I was able to do it. And he figured out how many hours when my pain would kick in. And that's when he knew to come up, give me the medicine. So I have to give him a really good shout out too, because he really did help me a lot. We almost danced our way from my daughter's room to the bathroom. I said, honey, we're dancing. because I couldn't
Yeah,
walk.
that's tough. It
But
is. It's lupus is a tough thing. And there's a lot of people that have it. What how would you know you had it?
well, there's a lot of symptoms, and they're all different symptoms. Um, First of all, like I said, I had fibromyalgia. And I didn't know God back then like I do now. So I made a deal with God, shame on me. And I said, hey, God, if you'll stop this pain, I'll live with lupus. Silly, right? Because
Uh,
God is a healer. I didn't know God could restore, which God can. You have to find the faith to be able to believe that He is alive, He's not dead, and He doesn't want us sick. God doesn't look at us and say, okay, you don't go to church, you're going to get cancer today. That's
right,
not what God does. That's not
right,
God. God is love and light, and He sends people, you like me and Michael, to help you all have a better life. And when I hear some of these testimonies that you're doing with other people, I can understand and sympathize with their pain. I break for them, and I just want to come through the phone and just give them a great big hug and say, you know what, you can do this. You
right.
can do this, because I should have been dead a long time ago. And look at me. I'm looking all right for
You
my
look
age.
good. You
Well,
look
thank you.
good.
So, oh, and I want to show you one more little thing, because I know you like to play the piano.
Yeah.
You see my organ right there?
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Now, to tell you another good, and I'm talking about God again. Well, I don't know how to play the organ, but I know how to play the piano. Well, for some reason, I'm not getting a sound out of here, and one of the chords looked like it's been cut. So for a couple of weeks now, I've been praying really hard and asking God, I got to find somebody to repair this organ, because I didn't want to have to throw it out in the dump, because it was a gift. I never
Right.
had anything for this. Although the screen door I had to get completely removed out, some of the wood taken out of it so it would fit. And then it took 3 men and then they almost lost it on the porch. And I was like, no, but they saved it and they brought it in. And I said, I know how to play the piano, so I can figure out the organ. I just don't know how to make the sound come out. But there's a little wire that is clipped in the silver box. But the neat thing happened today. This man called me and he said, first of all, I asked him, I said, oh, are you Jeff? And he said, no, I'm Bill. I said, oh, okay. Because I called somebody at church that might know somebody that might know somebody. And he said, no, he said, I don't know where he came from. I'm going to ask him the next time he comes here. Where did you come from? I must have left messages, and somebody must have told somebody that told somebody. But he lives out here in Dallas, and he says, I do know how to fix the Rogers, and I will come out to your house, but you got to call another store, which I didn't know. So all this information is being given to me that I don't know, and it's all God.
Wow.
I don't know this stuff.
Wow. So he's going to come fix it for you.
I don't know. I'm sure he's going to charge me something, but he
That's
actually
okay.
He actually came from another store, and I didn't even know about the other store, because I called the Fox Theater because they have that pipe organ in there. It's beautiful. Well, I don't have pipes here. I wish I did, though. It'd be going through the ceiling if I did.
Ah,
My girlfriend said, what possessed you to get that thing? I said the word free.
yeah.
And I always wanted to learn to play the organ. I could play the piano. Why not the organ? But I was expecting, one of those little bitty things. And because that's the first one I bought, was a little one. And it
Yeah.
fit corner downstairs with a piano. But when he showed me the picture of this one and I actually got to see it, well, when they delivered it, it was in a long truck. And I looked at them and I said, are you kidding me? But then they came up to me and they said, Miss Piero. And I said, yes. They said, we have a problem. I said, oh, is that like Houston? We have a problem? Yes, ma'am. I said, okay, what's the problem? And he said, you don't have any doors big enough to bring in the organ. I said, are you kidding me? How big is this sucker?
Oh, wow.
Well, now you see it. It's right behind me.
Well, they got it in there somehow.
Uh-huh. I'm telling you, when it's a yes from God, it goes very smoothly right down the line. Whatever you need, it will be given. When it's a no, it may either be a long wait for like Michael on Shark Tank. Shark Tank, call this guy. He's got great vitamins. Come on, Shark Tank, you can do this. I know you can. Come on, God, let's get him on there. with him though.
I know you're a big Shark Tank person.
Oh, I am. I love to follow them. And oh, I was going to tell you the two people that are on TikTok that you need to go look up. The one lady did the Popel, Popl drink.
Okay.
How you spell that? So it is a L. And she Shark Tank, and I watched her. And then the next one is the lady that did the Lume deodorant, Lume. She got on there, and now she's on here. And they make you this deal, and you can kind of react on it. So if you want something better. So usually if you whatever you want, they like either 10, 15, or 20%. And it depends on how many of them want to join you. So make sure you have your goal. Make sure you know what you want so that when you go in there, you think, okay, if they counter react this, I'm going to ask for this. But like I keep telling you, take your creams with you because the people always give them something, and there's usually 4 or 5 of them. So make sure you have enough stuff with them to give them.
Right. Okay.
And you can take all your supplies, like you can take your boxes and stuff and, pack them full of your vitamins and stuff.
Right. Okay.
And then you bring us with you for a testimony.
Yes. Yes, I could do that.
I know you can. I'm going to keep pushing.
That'd be wonderful.
You know I do.
Yes. Is there anything else you want to tell these beautiful people out here?
Well, I just told them you can have good days as well as bad days with lupus. You can survive, even 30 years ago or whatever, when the doctor said prepare to die. Don't give up that easy, y'all. God's got a purpose and a plan for your life. You just got to find how to believe in God, but he does exist. He's a relationship, not a religion. That's the first thing you need to believe. He is a relationship of the heart. And then if you smoke or you eat bad, try to get off this stuff because it'll only make it worse for you. Do take vitamins. Like I said, talk to the doctor first if you don't take anything at all. And I used to not take anything at all, but since I've been taking all of Michael's vitamins, or most of them, I still have more to get, as I found out today. But they're very good vitamins and they do work. And they're reasonably priced. So they're going to break the bank. So I guess that's all I can say.
Okay. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
I'm sorry it took so long to get you on here.
That's all right.
I'm glad we did it. And I knew you'd be able to figure this out. The one thing I love about StreamYard is it's very simple. It's very simple for me too. They really do have a good product here. I just love it. So,
I'm just thrilled that I was able to get on.
Yes, without any problems.
I'm not technology challenged for a reason either. I am in Microsoft Word. That's what's taken me so long to print out my book, because I'm getting it up there and then the computer does something wacko and I'll go, Mark,
Yeah.
What now?
Yeah, this is a super easy program. It really is. Okay, Kim, thanks again. And I will send you a link as soon as this goes live.
And you'll have to show me how to do the link to the lupus support group.
Absolutely.
But your vitamins are on there too, so don't forget to update them too.
Right. I will put them in the description section, all the vitamins you mentioned of this video.
Yes.
Yep, I will do that.
God bless. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you, Kim. Bye.
Bye. You'll have to go off. I don't know how.
Okay. So that was my good friend, Kim. And I've been trying to get her on here forever. It's just trying to schedule people. It is difficult, but she's wonderful. And she's one of my biggest customers, as you can see. My name is Pharmacist Michael. Be happy and be healthy.